Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the number one sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good and the bad and the shocking stories of sugar dating. Just me today. You just got me today. I have some things I want to talk about. I don't know how long this is going to run, probably a shorter version today, but I do have some fun things to talk about. Before we get to that, though, Sugarpalooza 8 is coming up fast. We have spots available if you want to come, and you're a woman or a lady. Our applications are open at secretsofasugarday.com. Go to the party tab. You'll find all the information there. Fill it out. It's a little survey style. It's got four pictures and a video. And if you send that in, then most likely we're probably going to invite you to party with us in Arizona, July 17th through 19th, 2026. And it's going to be a very, very fun weekend. We are finalizing all the details right now, but just to, let you know kind of the structure. And a lot of people are getting here early, and that's fine. If you want to get here a few days early and leave a few days late, we can figure out the accommodations and the schedule for you. But the party is actually the 17th through the 19th. So the 17th is a Friday, and we've got a fun mixer at Jay's house. Very, very nice place to meet everyone, kind of get into the groove. It'll be chill, got a nice pool. We'll have great music going on, lots of food and alcohol. And we'll just be chatting and getting caught up with the old friends and meeting a lot of new friends. So it's going to be a fun night. And then on Saturday, we are going back over to Jay's house to have a pre-party. And we'll kind of get the party started again. We've got a party bus there waiting for us to take us to the ballroom at Mesa Country Club, where we have dinner, we've got a photo booth, we've got a DJ, and most importantly, we have got a band coming in they're traveling all the way from California to entertain us. And they are a Dua Lipa tribute band, meaning they sing Dua Lipa songs, and they'll throw a few others in there too, but they are primarily going to entertain us with the great music from Dua Lipa, and she is the hottest artist in the world right now, so you're really, really going to enjoy this band. And then the party bus will take us back to Jay's, where who knows how long it'll go to the night. And then on Sunday is kind of a decompression, chill brunch over at Trucker and Lily's. They're gracious enough to open up their house in the beautiful Arcadia district of Phoenix. And we can just hang out, have some food, maybe a mimosa or two, and talk about the party and the fun and the what the fuck moments and exchange social media and phone numbers, and then we'll be on our way. So that is the Sugarpalooza 8 rundown. If you want to be a part of that, we would love to have you. Men, we still need sponsors, and the more sponsors we have, the better the party will be. I promise you. The women appreciate it. I appreciate it. So get a hold of me at info@secretsofasugarDaddy.com. And if you want information on how you can become a sponsor. Of course, the men are all paying for the entire weekend. The women get free accommodations. You just got to make your way here to Phoenix, Arizona. And I've looked up prices of flights for a few people just to help them find affordable flights. And trust me, coming to Phoenix in the summer is very affordable. They're not filling up those planes to haul people to Phoenix in the middle of July. So the prices are right. I mean, literally, you could get anywhere from the U.S. to here a round trip, probably for between $300 and $500. So not too bad. A lot of you just need to talk your sugar daddy into helping you get your flight over here. And then also too, if you haven't joined our Patreon, we encourage you to do that now. It's at patreon.com/Secrets of a Sugar Daddy Podcast. That's our fan club page that helps us with the cost of this podcast. You get a lot of benefits out of it. We'd really, really appreciate you joined our family. And then you're going to, get to hear the episodes before anybody else. You'll get access to the community chat. You can ask all kinds of questions there. If you want to be in the girls chat, that's a very valuable asset that we have now. And it's a nice service, and I think it's about 90 people strong. So if you want to get in the WhatsApp chat group where it's women only in the sugar community, we can get you set up there. So go to patreon.com/Secrets of a Sugar Daddy Podcast. I'll have a link to it at the bottom of this episode, and I will also, too, it's on our homepage. What I want to talk about today is how you make her feel. So she's not with you just because of your fancy car, your fancy house. She's got to like you. And the way that she likes you is how she feels around you, how you make her feel whenever you're together, right? But it all starts with the meeting. It all starts with the first meet and greet. So we're going to kind of go over that on how to make a woman feel like she wants to see you again. Like maybe there is some chemistry there, or maybe she is having a great time. I mean, being interesting on a meet and greet is less about performing, and it's more about creating a vibe where the other person feels engaged, comfortable, intrigued, and a little emotionally elevated after spending some time with you. And here's a few things that consistently work well. So lead with your energy, not interrogation. Most people ruin the chemistry by turning the conversation into a job interview. And I do this sometimes. I'm so curious about people that it'll feel like a job interview, but I try to make it interesting with lots of energy. And so instead of like, so where are you from? Or what do you do? How long have you been on the site? I asked somebody this the other day, like, oh, how long have you been on Seeking? Here's some different ways you can try. Different ways to phrase it. Maybe like, what's something you're irrationally obsessed with lately? Like if somebody asked me that, I have an answer for them because there are things that I'm just obsessed with at the time. And it may be something I'm doing with work or something I'm doing on the side, like with golf or poker or something that I enjoy. Maybe, or maybe I've gotten into some kind of a fitness program that I'm obsessed with now. It could be anything. Maybe you ask them, so what's your ideal perfect random Tuesday? I mean, I can guarantee you they haven't been asked that question. What's the most spontaneous thing you've done this year? Boy, if somebody asked me that, I mean, all of a sudden now my mind goes back and I can think of things. Like one day, it was a Friday. Now, I did this long ago. But I had a buddy pass when they still had those. Do they still have those? I'm sure they do. But I had a buddy pass on Southwest Airlines where I could fly standby for free. And I decided that I wanted to eat the all-you-could-eat seafood buffet at the Rio Casino in Las Vegas on a Friday night. So I went to the airport. I got on standby. And sure enough, there was a seat available, and I got on the plane and took a taxi. Once I got there, took a taxi to the Rio, ate the all-you-could-eat seafood buffet, gambled a little bit, took a taxi back to the airport and flew home. That was pretty random. It was really good, too. So, these questions, they can create stories, and they can bring out a personality. When you're on a meet and greet too, just you can tell short, entertaining stories. Like interesting people usually speak in stories, not facts. Like instead of, yeah, I travel a lot. I mean, you could say something like, Well, I ended up in a hidden speakeasy in Mexico City at 1 a.m. with a jazz band and somehow got talked into singing karaoke in Spanish. That makes for a lot better conversation than, yeah, I like to travel a lot. Now, there's imagery, emotion, humor, and room for follow-up from a statement like that. I mean, your lifestyle already gives you good material, so you could talk about, podcast stories, poker moments, weird travel experiences. If you're in Scottsdale, the nightlife here is insane. One that I talk about a lot is the funny meet and greet disasters. People's eyes open and jaws drop when those stories come up. Sometimes I'll get into the psychology of golf and poker. There is a lot to that. And if you're not into those sports or those hobbies, you might enjoy the psychology part of it. And since I'm an entrepreneur, sometimes I talk about the chaos behind that. But here's the key, though. You got to keep the story short. You got to be self-aware, slightly playful, right? And not braggy. No, when you start getting braggy about the situations, people can see it, and it gets a little off-putting, right? But what you want to do also in a meet and greet is you want to be curious in a confident way. See, because women remember how they felt around you. And if you can make her feel heard, if you can make her feel feminine, if you can make her feel playful, relaxed, interesting herself, you'll stand out more than the guy flexing his watches and money. I really, really focused in on a very light mood, fun, playful. I've had past girlfriends and past relationships who have started dating after Marcus. I know it happens. I know it's shocking, but it does happen. There's life after dating Marcus. But they'll come back to me and go, dude, I never knew how good of a planner you were, how good of the dates were, because this guy's boring me, or this guy just doesn't know how to date, or this guy just doesn't have it. And so what happens is I actually like it when they go out with other people, because I know that I'm putting a lot of work into making our nights out fun, making the first initial meeting fun and light and playful, not heavy. You're not there to trauma dump on somebody about, oh, my ex was so bad to me, or my divorce was so long and drawn out, I can't believe she did this, blah, 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 blah. I mean, they don't want that, okay? And it's just no fun listening to it.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
Here's a good move. Maybe you say, well, you seem like someone who has stories behind the stories, or I can already tell you're either really sweet or absolutely trouble. Light teasing, it creates chemistry when it's done correctly. And then you always want to avoid over-explaining your success, right? High-value energy is usually understated. Instead of, I own this, I invest in this, I make this much, I would use something like, well, I stay pretty busy with real estate and tech projects, but I've gotten good at creating freedom in my schedule. It's very simple, it's very calm, confident, gives them a little bit of intrigue. They want to dive deeper. And then you want to create emotional contrast. So people remember emotional shifts. A good meet and greet usually has humor, flirtation, sincerity, some depth, some tension, lightness, like we've talked about. You don't stay in one mode the whole time. Switch it up. and then try to play off of what you see as working. An example progression of a conversation when you're meeting somebody is maybe kind of have a funny opening. I mean, I can think of all kinds of funny things to say, and I do. Sometimes when people, I here's something, I've said before. It's like people are like, hey, I'm here, and are you there yet? And I'm like, yeah. So when you walk in, if you see the guy that looks like Brad Pitt, that's not me. Just keep on walking. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. And so that's kind of a funny opening, playful teasing, some genuine curiosity. You progress on these as the meet and greet goes. Then you can kind of start diving into slightly deeper topics. You certainly don't want to start out with that. I remember when I met somebody, I was asking them about their ex, and they just kind of looked at me and go, can we not talk about that? Let's move on to something a little more positive. Well, I didn't know what a sore spot with it. Now, that same person, now that I've got to know them, they talk about their ex all the time. And they go diving deep into the whole situation. But it wasn't a proper subject, or it wasn't, I just didn't want to talk about it on the first date. So you got to be very, very careful about just keeping it surface level. And then, progress back to fun and flirty. That rhythm feels, pretty magnetic to some women. So just, again, just start out kind of with a funny opening, maybe some playful teasing, genuine curiosity about them. Then you can take it just slightly a little deeper, not too deep, and then back to fun and flirty, right? That's a good rhythm. It's okay to have opinions. Interesting people have perspective. So you want to make sure it's not arrogance, though, but it's perspective, right? So an example is maybe you say, I think chemistry matters more than compatibility initially. Or most people are addicted to stimulation and call it connection. The best relationships feel easy, not confusing. So that creates real conversation instead of surface chatter. And then believe it or not, one of the strongest moves that you can do is to end it slightly early if the vibe is good. Okay? It may seem counterintuitive in a bit, but you kind of want to leave them wanting more. Like they're into the conversation. Maybe they're into you. Maybe they're getting slightly flirty. And you're like, you know what? It's been fun. I've got to run. Let's pick this up another time. Or let's pick this up next week when I have more time or whatever. And there's like, whoa, wait a minute. I want more. And that's what you want. You want to leave them wanting more. Now, man, if your only goal that night is to get them in the bed, get them in your bedroom, then that's a whole nother subject. When I'm meeting somebody, I'm truly, whether it's a sugar relationship or a traditional relationship, I truly want to get to know them and get on a deeper level. You've heard me say many times in this podcast, I love sex as much as anyone, and I could have it daily and be very, very happy. But it's not when it's not your initial goal is to just get them into the bed as quick as possible. Then you want to explore all this other stuff and leave them feeling really good about meeting you. And then the sex is even better, right? So if you just hold out, just the sex is even better when you have that emotional connection. And this is a way for you to get that emotional connection, that chemistry built up, that fire, that passion. So when you leave while the energy is high, it creates anticipation, it creates mystery, and it creates momentum into the next date. Instead of talking until the interaction dies. Like, I've actually been there where we kind of went through a lot of stuff, and then we found that we didn't really have any more to talk about. We went through all the basic stuff, and then it just kind of died. So that one went a little too long. A strong meet and greet energy, in a nutshell, is usually relaxed, amused, observant, lightly flirtatious, socially calibrated, and present in the moment. Not trying too hard to impress, right? So that is a little playbook on your first meet and greet. And I would suggest that obviously you're not going to have that in front of you and you're not going to go over it, word for word or step by step. But just remember, she's going to like you on how you make her feel. She's not going to like you because you have a Lamborghini in the parking lot. I've already tried that, right? It's cool, but you know who it attracts? It attracts other dudes. They love the cars. The women they really don't care as much. They like hanging out with men. They like having relationships with men. They like getting serious with men who make them feel amazing, okay? Who make them feel secure, who make them feel like they're important and that man can take care of them and that man can be a provider. That's what women like, right? So you may not be the best dressed in the room. You may not have any hair left like me. Maybe your teeth aren't perfectly straight. Mine are a little crooked on the bottom. It just is what it is. I've tried. I've had braces like multiple times and they keep shifting back. But anyway, they still like me because I pay attention to making them feel like they're having a great time, making them feel safe and secure. And it takes a little practice. The last thing you want to do is trauma dump on a girl. The last thing you want to do is talk bad about your exes. Because if they hear you talking bad about their exes, then they think automatically, well, if we have a relationship and then I become an ex, he's going to talk bad about me. So you want to keep it light. Like there's ways to talk about your ex. I mean, it's part of your life. Like I was married 16 years and we had a lot of great times. We had a lot of bad times. I mean, obviously it led to a divorce, but I never talk about her in a bad way. I just say, things just didn't work out. We had different goals in life and we decided to move on. I didn't say, well, she wouldn't let me do this and we got in a big fight and then, it might have got physical and then I just couldn't take it and blah, blah, blah. These are just examples. I never got physical with my ex-wife, but the conversation could lead to a dark, dirty place. Just don't let it, right? You don't want to be dumping that trauma on somebody, especially on a meet and greet. And I've had that happen. Like I've had people who they started talking and it got too deep and then they started crying and then, I'm sitting there thinking, this is not what I signed up for, right? And certainly you as a man, don't want to be doing that, but women either, right? You don't want to trauma dump on your meet and greet. Even if they are making you feel safe and secure, you want to keep it light and playful because, I was saying women like a man for how they make her feel the same way, right? Men want to feel good and happy and light and playful around you and have a lot of fun.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
I was telling you guys a couple weeks ago that Alejandro let me go on this meet and greet, and then the girl and I end up at a karaoke bar. And we had a lot of fun. Now, whether I'll ever see her again, I don't know. She's actually went out of town right after that and won't be back for a while. So when she gets back to Arizona, we may set up a second date or whatever. But until then, I'm just going to have really fun, lighthearted memories of drinking a little too much and going to a karaoke bar and watching somebody sing karaoke. I certainly didn't partake, but I enjoyed watching her work the audience, and it was a lot of fun. So you definitely, you want to leave those moments light and then just see where they go. And then as the dates go on, then as you get closer, you can start opening up and being a little bit more vulnerable. But yeah, that's a really good way to approach a meet and greet. Anyway, I told you guys it was going to be a short one today, and it is, because I've got to run. I've got so much to do, but we really, really want to have you guys join us for Sugarpalooza 8, so get those applications in. And then the sponsors, get a hold of me at info@secretsofasugardaddy.com. And then, we'd love a follow on Instagram. It's easy to find. Follow us on YouTube. All of our podcasts are uploaded automatically on YouTube. We get quite a few views on there. It's just audio only, but they are videos, and people comment there. And then do us a big favor, too, if you'll leave us a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify. It always helps our rankings. I mean, we are working hard to keep this at the top. There's a few other Sugar Daddy podcasts out there, and I've listened to a few, but I don't know. They just don't do it for me, and I'm glad that I have this opportunity to do it my way. And we want to spice things up. If you guys want to share your crazy sugar dating stories, we are accepting guests, and now that I don't have a co-host, I'm looking for a new co-host. So if you're interested in possibly helping me out on a few episodes or even becoming a full-time co-host, we'd love to have you on. But yeah, always looking for sugar daddy's perspectives, sugar baby's perspectives. Even if you're not even in that part of the world, let's say that you're a fitness coach or health coach or a sex coach or whatever you may be, we deal with all kinds of aspects of the relationship. And just because we do sugar dating doesn't mean that doesn't mean that those other items don't include us, but they absolutely do. And then also too, before I go, I want to just talk about Seeking. Man, that site sucks lately, and I don't know what's happened, because I had seen a lot of improvements, and I'm a regular user. I pay my $130 a month, which is quite expensive for a website, but I do it, and I do talk to quite a few people on there. A lot of it's for podcast research, and that's what I tell Alejandra. Every now and then I'll get a message of somebody really interesting, and I just want to meet them to kind of expand my life and expand, just my network. And I like meeting people. You just never know who you're going to meet. You just never know. I wear a bracelet that says "show up," right? And Alejandra gave it to me, and it was, I think, a gym, like one of her coaches at the gym had given it to her. But it's just a 2-word phrase, but it goes for everything in life, not just the gym. I mean, you got to show up at the gym too. But you just got to show up in life. There's been plenty of times where, I went on a meet and greet where I did not want to go. I had agreed to it, but then later I'm like, I really don't even want to meet this girl. I don't even think, I'm going to like her. I end up liking her. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun, and I was glad I met her. So you just never know where life is going to take you. I talk about Kimmy all the time. She, during the Super Bowl, she showed up when a guy asked her to come to a party, and, they're still dating to this day. And she's become wealthy because of this. She's become wealthy because she met this one gentleman who introduced her to other things in life, and her life has completely changed because she showed up, right? So that's such an important thing. But back to Seeking, it was really good for a while. And I saw some positive improvements, and I saw them testing out things. And they seem to have deleted some of the verification items that they used to require, because I'm getting more and more scammers show up on the site than I have seen in a long time. Now, I don't know if they even listen to this podcast. They were supposed to start one of their own, but it never happened. And they're married now, the owner, and he married his sugar baby, but then they wanted to change the site to a non-sugar site, and it's just very, very confusing for a lot of people. But I saw some improvements for a while, and I was like, giving them kudos for the positive changes they made. But I'm telling you what, guys, anybody who's listening to this from the staff and of Seeking, you've got to do better. I'm seriously thinking about launching a rival website now that I have the power to create it with all this AI coding. And I've talked about a little bit on our Patreon. I actually have created it. I am lacking of time to go through and really put the features in that I desire. And I know some of you have volunteered to help, and I need to really get on that. But, so far, to be honest with you, Seeking was fulfilling my needs. And, even through its shortcomings, it was a pretty decent site. And I'm still meeting some pretty decent people, but it's just getting worse. And I'm almost about ready to discourage people from using it. And I hate to do that because I use it. But the scammers are tenfold, it feels like, and they are just they're just not being checked. And I report them all the time. I'll report the profiles that are obvious scammers, but then I still see them on there. So I don't know that they're taking this serious. And part of the problem is the scammers put beautiful photos on there, and they fill it up with all these profiles. And so me as a male, I'm looking through and I'm like, oh my God, look at all these beautiful women. Look at all these profiles. This thing's amazing. Well, half of them are scammers and fakes. So it's really, really frustrating. We talk about all the time on the podcast how to dig through the gold, how to dig through the dirt to find the gold nuggets or the diamonds or whatever you want to call it, right? And they're there. Right? Great people are there. But it's just getting harder and harder and very, very frustrating to dig through this bullshit that's going on with all the fake profiles. Anyway, that's my update on Seeking as of late. We've seen a lot of changes over time, some good, some bad. They don't associate with this podcast. I've tried to reach out. They've basically blocked me from associating with them because we talk about the real life behind sugar dating, the ups and downs and the shocking stories and the good and the bad. And we tell it how it is, where they want to create a fantasy land on there. And I get it. I mean, they want you to pay. It's a capitalistic society, and I'm capitalistic, and I get it, right? But then you've got to have conscious for the user. And so that's about what's going to force me to throw in a hat into the ring, because I honestly, I don't care if we make money. I want it to be done right. Man, I'm just about talking myself into going home and working on this thing a little harder, but I don't know. We'll see. That I'm just ranting right now, but with this AI coding, I'm telling you, a competitor can come in very cheaply and do it correctly. Before, it would take hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay coders to develop the site and so many man hours to go through and debug it and get it where you want. Where now I could literally recreate this website in less than a day using artificial intelligence coding that does all the coding for me, and then just start adding features that I want. So, and it's very, very cheap to do that. I've talked about in the past episodes, I'm using a program called Base 44, and you guys can, there's others out there, but any fourth grader could copy the site now. It's that easy. So do better, Seeking, before we decide to do better. All right. Anyway, that's it. I did ramble on a little longer, and hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And again, if you want to share your crazy sugar dating stories, reach out to us on our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. Contact me on Instagram. And hopefully we'll see you at our next party, or at least we'll see you on our Patreon group. All right, until next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.